Hello everyone, it's Marie from Skeletorama again. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, but how's everybody doing? I'm doing all right. It is getting ready to be Easter, and I thought, well, Easter, I definitely need to get back to working on my Ireland journal. Now granted, Easter in 1916 was April 24th, and today's, what, the 3rd, so it kind of shifts around, but close enough, so definitely wanted to be working on this on Easter. But anyway, so we have gotten the cover done now on our book, and we are ready to start playing on the inside, finally, 75 years later. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the tassel and scoot this to the side a little bit. And so we're going to play with the ephemera from the actual kit. So I have ephemera from the main kit. I have stuff from the add-on kit. What I normally do is I take all of the ephemera and I kind of separate it, because there's all different sizes and it can be a bit overwhelming. So, you know, I got the small, there's the stamps and the round ones. And I kind of do the stuff by size too, so it'll kind of help out when I go to decide what I want to do with everything. So I've already done that. So what we're going to play with today is, as I make all kinds of glassine bag noise, we're going to play with the pockets and tags and those sorts of things and do those first. So here I have all the different pockets. We've got a longer pocket, we have our library pocket, our corner pockets, this big pocket, the little book, we have the cabinet card here. This is the postcard that comes from the actual kit, and then I have some of the postcards that come from the kits that I just did, which are the Papers and Postcards sets 1 and 2. And if you haven't seen it, I do have a video where I kind of showed that one a little bit, and I will link that below so you can see. Here, let me move this out of the way here. Okay, and I do have my real antique cards. So these were all scans of actual antique cards for my collection. So I'll show you just in case you haven't seen it, so we can compare. This is the actual postcard. This is the printed one. I printed it a little bit smaller. And this one I had to kind of reconstruct, so their chimney got an upgrade, but we have that one, and then I've got, let's see, there is this one, and where's that one? There's so many of them. Watch, it'll be at the back. Yeah, of course it is. Okay, so here is this one here. We've got, I swear I just had that in my hand. There we go. Got that one here, and so on and so forth. So this is this one. The thing that you'll notice with this one here is this has writing on it, this doesn't. That's because with the two kits, I kind of gave everybody one of each of 2 of the postcards that I had that had writing on the front. So we'll scoot these guys over here. So we have this one and we have this one, because, you know, sometimes you just want the picture. Sometimes you want the historical value of, you know, getting that little peek into what somebody was talking about back in whenever the heck this was, and I can't read it. It's the early 1900s for sure. This one right here is 1904. This one was the very interesting one where, you know, the person was thanking them for the letter that they had sent them, that they had then destroyed, and hoped he had gotten his affections under control, and reminding either him or that person was a priest. I was like, oh, what? So, but anyways, I have it with and without the writing. So one kit will have this combination, one kit will have this combination here, so you can get one of each. But since I printed those out for the initial showing of the kit, let me make sure I got all my real ones. There we go. I figured, hey, we might as well use them, right? So I have, let's see, I was going to use that one, and this one. Then I have these for some other stuff. But anyways, we have these cards to work with here. So that's what we're going to do. So what I have done with these is, you know, these come on the sheet, you cut them out, and they have the score lines for you. So instead of making this fast forward 20 minutes of you watching me score things and ink things, I went ahead and did that ahead of time. Yay, look at me go. So these have all been scored on these lines. I went ahead and inked them. You know, with some of them you may end up inking them again, like with this, if you trim it down or something, but I always like to do it first so I get the majority of it done. So these are already folded and ready to go. So we will be doing that, these pockets, etc. So that's what we're going to tackle first, and then we'll get to all of the other stuff. And the beauty of the pockets is there's not a heck of a lot to do to them, because your scoring and inking of them is the most of it, and then you're just going to glue in some strategic places before you glue down in the actual book. All right, and so for this, I actually need to refill this. I got a new bottle. See, it's still got the little top attached. Mine, this thing, because whenever you put it on there and kind of turn stuff, it'll twist and twist. It broke off pretty early. This is my old one that misbehaves constantly. Although it did behave very well once I filled this one because it knows its time is limited. But I got a new one, and I went ahead and saved the package thing to show you what the package looks like. I got this on Simon Says Stamp, I believe. Yes, Simon Says Stamp had it. It was like, I don't know, $3 or $4, super cheap. But it's the Quilled Creations Precision Tip. They carry these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, anywhere you find the quilling stuff. So it's in with the paper things. And the paper trimmer in that kind of area, but these are great because they have this nice fine tip, and you don't have to deal with the stuff you do with, say, the art glitter glue, where you have to, you know, have the pin in there, and that dangly thing would drive me absolutely crazy. So I'm going to take my Scotch glue, which I love because it holds really well and really quickly. And I'm just going to fill this up a bit because it does perform better when it's full. All right, that's good enough. Good enough for now. Okay. And you just put the top back on it. But see how this is kind of twisting around? This thing has a very limited lifespan. It's not going to last too long before it drives me crazy, and I'll probably end up cutting it off. Okay, so we have this, and we have our different stuff. One of the few that does use assembly is going to be your library card pocket right here. So this part is the back, and then it's going to go on to this, and then we do have our library card to go in there as well. Okay, so now with all of these pockets, you're going to flip it over, you're going to fold the stuff in, and then I will glue the corners here first and then put it in because it's just easier to manage. Now, what you want to do is you want your sides to come in first and then have the bottom come up and over. And here's why. When I'm putting something in there, okay, you see it's going to glide straight down because it's going to come into contact with those sides. If I have the bottom in first and then these, stuff's going to have a tendency to catch on here and get hung up on here in the spot where it's attached to the book. It still kind of could if it's thin enough in the center, but just to reduce your chances, make your text come out easier, go ahead and fold your sides in first and then the bottom. And then I will just take on this piece here, just a little drop, and of course it's going to do that spitty thing that it does right when you first refill it. Just a little drop of glue there and there. I'm going to hold that down for just a second. That's going to make it a little easier for me to deal with when I go to put it in. Or in this case, when I glue it onto that. Same concept though. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue. This has like a little spot you can put that. I'll get real tired of doing that real quick. So yeah, probably next time you see it, the little stringy thing won't be there. Okay, and so you're just going to put a little bit of glue on these flaps. Don't put too much because what will happen is it'll squish in and then you'll end up gluing part of your pocket to something that you don't want. Okay, so a little bit of glue there. Hold it by the center here. Line that up at the bottom. And make sure it's nice and square and just press it down. Okay, and this is going to make my pocket for my library card, and that's going to go on the very front. Like I said, this glue grabs fairly quickly. Okay, so we'll sit that here. And then this one here needs to be done first. So same thing, I'm going to do the inside ones first, and then I'm going to do the bottom just to make it easier for stuff to go in and out. Now on this, since I've got the little the cutout here so that you know it's a pocket, I went ahead and used my distress ink, and I inked on that inside there, so it's got a little more, instead of the stark white paper, it's got a little more color to it. And you only have to do it at the very top. Okay, so we're going to fold this guy in this way, and this way, right? So this will go on top of here. So to glue them together, I'm going to take my glue, I'm going to go along the leading edge of this here, and the leading edge of this here. So that way we know both ends are done. I'll do maybe like one little line there just to catch that middle part. Okay, and I'm going to bring them over like this. So that way you know that you're glued down at the edge on the outside, you're glued down at the edge on the inside. Okay, and I'll get my scissors wherever they are. They're here somewhere, I swear. Okay, I'm just going to kind of even that little bit up, because no matter what, whenever I fold these, I never fold them correctly. Somebody's always off at an angle, you know, because that's just how I roll. Okay, and so now for the bottom, same thing. We're going to go kind of up towards the top here and make sure you're hitting those edges so they stay down nice. I'm just going to fold it over and then press it down. Voila! Super easy. And then since it is a digital, of course, you can print as many of these as you want and have as many of the pockets as you like. For this journal, we're going to be making a bunch of other styles of pockets and using the ephemera to decorate that. So that's why I don't include a ton of them, because I know most people like to do the book page pockets and all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, so there we go. We got these put together. We got this put together. This little card's going to fit right in there. And then we have our other pockets. So now let's put them in. Look, I'm doing something. It's not taking me 17 hours. Isn't this great? All right. So generally, I like to have the library card pocket at the front, where you would put like an ex libris type thing or a book plate or something. And I put it up a little high because I like to also decorate underneath, so it sort of blends in. So that's what we're going to do. I am going to actually use the Fabri-Tac for this part because I like to make sure these are down nice and strong. So along the back here, I'm going to go almost to the edge, but don't go too close because your glue is going to squish out. And you want it to squish out to the edge, but not over it, as I skirted the edge big time right there. All right, and a little bit on the center. And then we're just going to put this down right about here, it'll do. Now, if you want to use this to put larger pockets, or larger tags in, you know, you can go ahead and scoot it down, or you can put on a page. Do what you like with it, you know. This is just how I like to do them. Okay, so we've got our pocket here. Now we're going to put our little card in there. And then I'm going to grab... I also take everything that I'm working on with this stuff and I try to keep it in one little basket so I can have a shot of finding things. Okay, so in here I've got, this is the seam binding that we did. There's some extra bits that we had cut off during what we were working on, so I know it's stuff that matches the journal, but we've got these, and that's what these are brilliant for, is decorating right under that. So let's audition a couple of these. Let's see, what do I like? You don't want anything too terribly long. I kind of like stuff that's going to dangle down a bit and sort of go more with the colors of that. That's kind of cute. It's a little too short. Well, that's not bad. I actually like this. There, that looks good. That's about the same width of it. And it's more neutral, so it's going with the blues, and that's not supposed to be there. So yep, I think that's going to be our winner right there. Okay, and if you want to add other things, I mean, you can add pieces of lace, you can add whatever you like, but I really just like these texture clusters for this. I'm going to put this down this way here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it on there. I'm going to go ahead and commit instead of, you know, wondering what to do and taking 14 years to do it. Okay, so just put it kind of right down the center of that. That way everything else is kind of loose and can move around, and instead of getting flat, you know, because we want texture to it. All right, so put that on there. Hold that down. A lid on my glue. All right, boom, instantly decorated. See, gotta love it. And we're gonna give that just a second to dry because of course I went a little nuts with it. There we go. I had some sticky. I'm still a little bit sticky. I just don't want to glue this to this on accident. Okay, and then for this larger one, I like to put this on the back. So I always like to have something on the front and on the back. And I swear, we're actually going to make a tag for this for the first time in one of my journals. I'm going to remember that this is here and I'm going to make something for it. So we will make a tag for this. So same thing with this. And you don't have to glue this in because the back is finished. You can put it on, you know, a clip and have it as a removable thing. You can make it as a flip out. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm just showing you one way that it can go in here. Okay, so we do our Fabri-Tac or whichever glue. You know, again, you can use art glitter glue, you can use tacky glue, you can use the double-sided tape if you like. A little note about double-sided tape, however. So double-sided tape, here, let's put this down a little farther. Double-sided tape is kind of a wet glue in that it never really dries, right? Because it's not like this. It's not going to evaporate the base out of it. So it's always going to remain a little bit tacky. So if I were to put, say, let's say I was putting these together and then I was going to stick something in there. If I use double-sided tape on here and put that in there, that edge where a tag or something I could put inside will possibly come into contact with it. It will stay tacky and sticky till the end of eternity. It will never dry. It will always be sticky. So you'll find that you may have trouble getting stuff in and out of pockets if you use the double stick tape on the inside where it's going to contact anything. You see that most for people when they do like the kits and things where they don't have the flaps and you just put it straight down. Again, if you use that double-sided tape, you're going to find things are going to stick when they come into contact, because when you put something in, it's not like you're gingerly placing it in and not coming into contact. You're putting it in and you're stopping when you hit the bottom. That's where it's going to stick. Okay? All right, so now we have our pockets here, and I usually just do, you know, the two corners in the center, and I'll put one in each signature because we're going to put so much other stuff. So in the interest of my issues and having things symmetrical, we're going to put first, middle, second. Okay, so let's find where we would like to put this in here. I like to put these on kind of a sturdier page. So the magazine style pages are good for that, but I don't want to cover that up. And the scrapbook pages are good for that, as are the these types of pages. And this actually might be nice right about here, so that's probably where we're going to put that, because this one already has one on the back, so it wouldn't make a heck of a lot of sense to have it there. And of course this I really like both sides of this as well, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put that one here. Okay, so same thing, do your side in first and then your bottom one, and this is my old one. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it's intimidated enough to work by being replaced. Oh, look at it go. Okay. It's a problem with having two identical things sitting right next to each other. Alright, so I'm going to do that a little bit just to make it easier for me to deal with it. Because every time I try to put it down without gluing them first, you know, I'll like let go of one halfway through or something, and yeah, I always mess it up. You see, it doesn't take long for it to grab. And of course I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac again and make sure I have my pocket going the right way for when I put it down, so I'm not confused. And I'll put it along the sides here. And we'll put it in. And I'm going to butt this right up against that lace and use that kind of as the back edge of it. And put that in here. Scoot that down a little bit so it's right at the edge of the page. And I just kind of press it down until I feel it grab. And since I used, you know, the acetone base glue, I don't ever have to worry about once it evaporates and is dry, it's dry and it's not going to have residual stickiness. So that's good. And then the flaps will prevent that too. So, all right, so there's that one. And I don't like the way that is right there, so I'm gonna put a little bit on this corner. And I'm switching glues midstream only because that's got the fine tip. So let's hold that down for just a second. How's this top corner? This could use it too. There we go. Had to get to an angle I could actually see it. Okay, so we'll just hold those corners down. Okay, perfect. As I stick to the stuff, nice. Okay. You can tell I've been playing with other glue because my fingers are sticky. All right, so there's that one. So let's go to the center one and see where we want to put this one here. So same thing. Got that, I like that. Got that one, so that's got a special thing, so we don't need it there. We have our envelope. Oh, I'm going to show you how to do the envelope. Okay, we'll do that as soon as we put this pocket down. Let me figure out where I'm going to put the pocket. No, I don't really want it there. Don't want it on the back of that. Any of the pages that are kind of strange, we're going to do some fun stuff too. So, and then that, we'll decide what to do with that, whether we want to keep it as a flip out or whether we want to glue it down. It's back or the front? Let's do the front. So the other one was in the back. So here we go. So how about, let's see, will you fit nicely on here? Just barely, but yes. Maybe we'll do on this side. Yeah, we'll do it on this side here. Okay. So again, folding the sides in first. Grabbing the newer glue bottle, just because it works a little more reliably for me. I would say no offense to my other glue bottle, but the number of times I've wanted to fling that thing out the window, I'm going to go ahead and offend it for just a second. All right, hold these down just so it grabs, and then we'll take Fabri-Tac to attach it. And put, again, a decent amount because we want it to hold it down, but we don't want it to inadvertently glue the interior of the pocket down too. And then we'll bring this over, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave a little more of a gap because then we can put maybe some decoration down here. And then with these, I kind of, isolate it on the page, and I'll press. Because when you put it on the tea stain paper, the paper likes to kind of start to wrinkle up because of the liquid. Even with the acetone base, there's enough liquid to get it to kind of start to wrinkle. And so I just kind of like to go along and press until I feel like it's nice and secure and it's not going anywhere. Okay. Voila, there we are. And for our envelope here, okay, so we put this envelope in here, but we didn't glue anything down because we wanted to be able to tie everything off. So what you do is you take your strings that are in the center, you cut them down nice and short. And then we are going to glue this. So I'm going to fold my sides in first and this, and I'm going to kind of gauge, okay, because you don't want to go all the way to the top because you're going to end up gluing that. So with this, we can go, let's glue it on here because, yeah, that covers up pretty good. Okay, so we are going to go, you can go all the way up to the top on this part, on the very interior edge, because it covers all of that completely. And we can go up just a little bit here. And then on this one, same sort of thing. We can go around this edge. I'd stop about there just because it extends up quite a bit. And then we'll do like one little line here. I mean, that's pretty good. And then bring this over and hold that down. And that way it is glued in here real good. And see, now you have a pocket you can put stuff in. Voila. And if you want, you can kind of reach in there and press down. But when you do the edge of this and the leading edge of that, you're definitely at least gluing it down where it matters the most, right? And it'll be strong enough that you don't need to completely coat every surface it's going to touch in glue. And then with this, we'll get a smaller piece and put it here. Let me see what I got. Okay, so we can pick from some of the smaller things. I've got these round ones, but that's probably a little too big, and that hotel one doesn't really go with it. So let's use one of the stamps. This kit I did a lot of stamps. So this is a nice landscape stamp, which will work perfect as a closure for that, so that it doesn't keep flapping open, right? And I still have some distress ink on here. I'm just going to ink the edges. And it's super easy to make something. You can use a strip if you want and do it on each side so it'll tuck in. But basically we're going to put this here so this will hold the flap down. It'll tuck into it. But we don't want to glue it all down, obviously. So with this, I'm just going to glue with the regular PVA glue, like the bottom. See, I used the old one. Why am I doing that? I need to put it out of my reach again. I'm just going to do the little bottom, maybe third or half, just depending on the size of it. And I'll place it here where it overlaps by about a third or so. And we will press that down. And I have spared myself from my glue, okay? And so usually to let it dry, I will just push this down and leave the flap up. But your flap can tuck right in there, boom. And it's got enough tension in it that it'll hold it shut. But for now, to let it dry, I'm gonna let this dry flat. All right, so let's head over to our third signature. Oh, there's these. For our last pocket. And where do we want this? Probably going to go towards the back, I think, on it. Okay, so that's already got a pocket. What else do we have? We've got this. So this and the one on the other side are the ones that we definitely wanted to cover and do something to. So we just will wait on that. But I think I'm putting it on the very back inside flap here. So again, doing the side first. Dot of glue on the corner of that, just to hold it. Making sure I didn't do that backwards, because that'd be weird. All right, and then I'm gonna take my Fabri-Tac and put the glue on here. And on these, I'm gonna make sure I get all the way up to that corner. Because that's what I didn't do on that last one. And I'm going to put it over just because I really like that border. I don't want to mess my border up. All right. There we go. The same sort of thing. Squish it down. Make sure my corners are good. That one looks good. That one looks good. And there we are. So those are the ones that come with the kit. So we've got those in. Again, if you wanted to print them out so you had a corner and a center for each signature, go for it. I use Gayle Agostinelli's trick where if I'm putting this pocket here, I will put the other one in the corresponding place on the opposite side, just so it keeps everything balanced and you don't end up getting front or back heavy in your signatures. Okay, so those are those parts. So we can set this aside now. And we can turn our attention to these. So we have this one. This is the little booklet. We have the postcard. We have cabinet card. We have some more of the postcards here. Let's see, let's use these right here, because that way we can have, well, no. See, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That'll work. And then these we're going to keep separate. I actually had an idea for these, so for now I doubt I'll get to that in this. But what you do with these is they are designed so that they'll fold over. You cut them in one piece and you just score down the center and fold, so that way you don't have to worry about aligning it. Even though, you know, I didn't cut straight, I can go along after I glue it and just trim that. And then I'm going to take my liquid glue here. And I'm just going to glue these together. And I do it, I make sure I get right around the edges, and then just a little bit on the inside. And what happens is, since these are printed from cardstock, when you put these together and you press them down, they're going to give you a little more of the weight of, say, an actual postcard, because postcards are fairly thick. I also like to use a brayer when I do these, just because it gets everything nice and flat. It'll squish out any extra glue, and then you can just wipe it up. Okay, and since this one had a little bit hanging over the edge, I'm just going to trim that off. There we go. And just that easy, I have the cabinet card. And I'm going to go ahead and re-ink this since I had to trim it. But there you go. So I'm going to do that to these, but not these. And then fast forward as I do that, and I will see you at the end of it. All right, so there we go. We have our postcards now and our cabinet card. So with these as well, like I said, I cut them out as a square. Sometimes they'll have the rounded corners. If it's rounded on this fold here, I generally leave it and wait until after I have them together to cut it, so that way I'm not trying to, you know, match any of that kind of stuff up. So that one had a little bit, and I think this one did too. Yes, yes. So this has a little bit of rounding here. All right, so there we go. And then any of the edges that we trimmed, go ahead and hit it with your distress ink to get it back to the way you want it. Oh, there's a little bit that I missed. Didn't quite line up because my cutting was not all that great. All right, perfect. Voila. Super easy. And now these are nice and thick and sturdy. And they feel like real postcards, without having to spend, you know, I mean, antique postcards, depending, can run anywhere from $1 to $15 a piece, just depends on them. So this is way cheaper than that. You can print as many as you like. And the two kits that I have oh, let's see, they are, one's 30 and one's 31 pages, and I think they have like a dozen postcards each. And so aside from the two, the one with the writing and without versions of these, they're all different. So all right, so there's those. So we'll find a place for those in there. Now this one is the little booklet one. And you see this definitely has the rounded corners, and I've left those in there. So we're going to make a little booklet out of it. But I don't want to leave it that white paper, so I'm going to grab some book page. Let's see if it'll fit on this. Oh, just barely. Okay. We'll take a page of this. This is actually appropriate because this is from Gulliver's Travels, which was written by Jonathan Swift, who was born and raised in Dublin. So I lucked out. I just happened to have that book that I use pages from, and I'm like, oh, hey, that's awesome. That works. All right, so we're just going to go around this one, around the edges. We're going to cover this inside in the book page first. So just grab it. Let's see, make sure we're going the right direction so the text isn't upside down, right? You can totally see me doing that. Okay, I press that down. And when I use the brayer, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I like to go on the side that I would least be upset if something happened, because sometimes these aren't, they'll pick up, you know, ink or something off something, and you'll go to roll it and it'll be a big smudge. So you don't want the big smudge on the nice side. If it's on the not as nice side, you can at least fix it. So we have this here, so we're just going to trim around it. Again, we're leaving this part straight because it just makes life much easier. And then we'll use extra book page leftovers for something else, of course. This will just give it a little more variety and texture and all that stuff we like in junk journals. Oh, come on. You can do it. Okay. All right, so we have this here, we have our book page here, and we're very gently going to kind of press in and fold because it's going to want to sort of pucker on you a little bit. It's probably best to wait until it's dry, but I'm very impatient, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to do that. Where's my bone folder? Do it pretty good here, and then yes, it's going to be kind of wrinkly, so I'll kind of press down in this way. Okay, so now I've got this folded over. Now I'm going to do these corners. So I just kind of follow it around and follow it around, and then I flip it over to make sure I don't have any extra white showing where, you know, as you can see, I'm not the best at cutting things, but I'm just going to leave it because it's a booklet. I get my handy dandy trusty distress ink. I got the vintage photo this time. I've already gone around that, but I'm definitely going to hit these corners real good from the outside and just kind of re-ink a little bit, but this is definitely where I want to focus on, is in here. And getting these edges so it looks really nice. Now you can do this way. You could actually glue those together and make it more like a postcard style card if you like. You know, whatever you want to do. You can have this so that it's blank, so you can use it for journaling space. And just because I have issues, I'm going to have to do this center one too. Okay, ink all the things. All right, so let's find some paper. So I have here my big bag O scraps, and this is, I try to sort the scraps so they make sense. This is the one that is all either tea-dyed paper, Kool-Aid dyed paper, ledger, that sort of thing. Just plain paper that's been dyed. Let's see if we can find any that fit in there. Okay, so here are some candidates for this. We're not going to use all of it, obviously. You don't need to use that much, and you also don't have to worry about, you know, oh, this isn't tall enough. Well, we want these to be kind of different and weird, so we're going to go ahead and use some thinner pieces. But see, we got this one here, and this one will be just fine for that. So I'm going to grab my trimmer. We'll use this one for that. It's a little bit easier. Okay, so for this one here, that's almost perfect for the length. So let's go ahead and cut this little piece off here. All right, and then we'll kind of square this up. Well, let's see, how long do we want it? You don't want it to go top to bottom necessarily. You want to leave a little bit of a reveal. So we'll take about half an inch or so off of that. All right, and so this fits just about perfect in there. Okay, so we'll use that. And then I want to use one of the green ones. So I want this. I like them both. Okay, let's see. Let's use then. Yeah, we'll use this. Why not? Okay. So again, they don't have to be exactly even. Sometimes it's fun to have them, you know, sort of vary. So grab this. I'll kind of fold that so I can find it again, even though I probably won't. Okay, I'll put this up here. This we're going to use like it is. And then we have another large piece, so we'll do this one maybe about the same there. And then we'll just square this one up here and just use it at whatever length that ends up being. Which turns out to be the right length. Yay! Okay, so yeah, let's find the one we were using before. Let me get these out of the way over here. And so 4 pages for a little booklet like this is probably just fine. You know, you're not making a notebook, you know, you're not making an entire small journal. You just want a few pages that are kind of fun. So let's do this. Go ahead and fold this in half. Use a bone folder to get a nice crease on that. Ooh, it's got cool on, yeah, you know what, I like this one better. So we'll do this on the outside here. And then we'll fold these guys. This one's nice and shiny. All right. Okay, so we'll have this one on the outside, and then we'll start with maybe this page here. And see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one kind of up higher, put this in here, and maybe put this in a little bit lower. So there's just a little bit of a variety to them. Okay, so there's those. And we'll put this in here. And then we can probably just staple this. Let's see if my stapler will reach. Oh, of course it doesn't. Why would it? Let me go get my big stapler. Okay, there's my regular stapler. And you can staple these. You can, you know, put couples in, do a little pamphlet stitch type thing and tie them. You can sew them, just however you like. I just felt like stapling them this time. So I've got those in there straight. I'm going to line my staple upright with that back seam. Let's do one there. And one there. Okay, that should hold them. And now you have a little notebook. Okay, simple, simple. So I think we'll actually stop there because that's a decent amount of stuff. Let me get this stuff put away and we'll bring the journal back out. All right, so here we have our journal, and let's put some of this stuff in some of these pockets and things. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things. So we'll do a postcard in each, and one will get 2 postcards, one will get the cabinet card, one will get the notebook. How's that? Again, you can put anything anywhere you want on these. So for now, just because we're going to be making a lot of other stuff, so this stuff will most likely move around. Where are my, let me grab my stuff. Okay, I've also got these, which are the little Tim Holtz clips I like to use. So we'll grab 3 of those out and we'll clip some to it so they don't have to go in the pockets, so we can make other stuff for the pockets. All right, so let's see, we'll do this one first, I think. And where do we want to put it? Just grab a spot wherever you like, wherever you think needs some decoration and where your colors are going to match and stuff. So maybe we'll put her, no. So I liked it on this. Okay, and so I'm going to put my little clip here gently because of course this is music paper. Okay, so we got her there, and then where's one of our pockets? Let's find our pocket that we just put in, which of course now I don't remember where the heck we put it. There it is. We're just going to tuck that in there. And we'll go to our center one. And this we have the booklet. The booklet you usually need kind of a pretty sturdy pocket for. so it doesn't, you know, kind of pull your page all out of whack. I generally will put them in these, the fabric pockets, or you can clip it with a regular paper clip, however you want to do it. I don't know if these would quite work. Let's see. Would that work to hold that? It might. Oh, yeah, no, that looks terrible. Let's don't do that, shall we? But we'll go ahead and put our postcard up here. All right, let's go back towards the back. Now we could put it in here, but we'll do a journaling card or something for in there. What do we have? Yeah, we'll put it in this fabric pocket here. And then for our last one, it's kind of interesting in here. No. That's half the fun, is just figuring out where the heck am I going to put all these things. This could use it right here. And let's go this way with it. Oh. There we go. There's that. And then we'll find a pocket for our other card. And sit that right in there. So boom, there we go. All right, so that's where we are going to stop for today. So I have a shot at making a normal sized video in length. That'll be fun. So next time what we will work on is we will work on these. And what I was thinking of doing with these is either making more little booklets, or maybe covering the inside with book pages and adding pockets and making them little folios or something. Because just because it's a postcard doesn't mean you have to use it as a postcard, because this is actually very decorative this way, right? So we'll do something non-postcardy with these, just to show you some options that you have. And then we do have the tags that come with the kit here to do still. And then we have the tickets and the banners and the little tabs. So we will see what of that we can get done on the next one. And then after that, I do have something I was playing around with, so we'll work on these. This is based actually on a mini album that was done on Graphic 45's channel. And it was really cool. The way she did the thing with the book pages was very unique. Mine's a little too flat, but I'll get it better. This is just a prototype, but this is also an example of here's how you can use some ephemera and things. So this comes from the kit here. These are Tracy Fox labels, of course, because she makes the best labels. And so we'll be doing that on the one after that. Okay, so hope you guys are having fun with this. I know I am, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Okay, See you guys later. Bye.